Yo, 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 it's your man King Castrowix coming at you guys live and direct with another episode of the Comic Cons podcast, kids. As you see, yet again, it's a late night podcast. Actually, I think it's 2 p.m. where our special guest is currently, ladies and gentlemen. 1 a.m. CST where I am currently. As you guys see, young Master Jules could not make it in the building, but that did not stop us from searching all around the world for some of the most unique and amazing collectors, appreciators of nerd culture in all of the world, kids. Here we are again, episode number, I think it's 17 of the Comic Cons podcast, kids. I have a very special guest for you today. I'm a humongous fan of this guy. So happy he didn't think I was a complete weirdo jumping onto his YouTube page, begging for a podcast, kids. Toy enthusiast, content creator, toy collector, toy hunter, also a bit of a toy historian, if I do say so myself. I've been studying and learning a lot of things from this guy, kids. All the way from Australia, ladies and gentlemen. Our first guest out of the country, man. Shout out, humongous deal for us. Ryan, the collector kid, ladies and gentlemen, in the building. How are you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing very well, mate. How are you?
I'm good. I am good. Happy to be finally talking to you, brother. As I said, I'm a big fan of your videos. You know what I'm saying? I am now interested in Doctor Who because of you. Never in my life did I have the interest, and now because of you studying your videos, watching your videos, I know now about Doctor Who, and I think it's the Centurions, man. So thank you so much for that, brother.
Oh, thank you so much, man. That's awesome to hear.
Of course, of course. How you doing today, brother? What's been up with you? I know you just celebrated your 3 years on YouTube, man. How's that been for you?
Yeah, it's been amazing to kind of see how far I've come in that 3 years. To be honest, I kind of started the channel, creating content for the channel in 2020 during lockdown, COVID. So it was an idea that I'd had for a couple of years, and yeah, it was awesome to be able to just get it started. And what started as just a very basic kind of white room with some Doctor Who toys and Ghostbusters has, as you can see, grown into a full museum or toy collection now. So it's been an amazing journey so far.
I gotta say the collection is looking absolutely beautiful, man. Super proud to even get to look at it. It does have the influence of a museum. The way you've went into displaying all of your pieces. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about for those that don't collect figures at home, the beauty of getting to display your pieces, man? Kind of the feelings that brings you, and maybe as to why you want to display these amazing pieces of plastic, my brother.
Yeah, I guess growing up as a kid, my parents used to always buy me figures and Matchbox toys and things like that. So my dad was a big sci-fi fan, so he loved, Star Wars, Doctor Who, Red Dwarf, which was like a UK-based show, and Thunderbirds. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. That was a cartoon sort of show.
I don't think I've heard of Thunderbirds.
Yeah, haven't heard of Thunderbirds? That's awesome. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so really just started with that. My parents would often buy me toys for Christmas, and obviously I got to collecting Star Wars toys, Thunderbirds, and then probably more 15, 16 years old, I got right into Spider-Man, Marvel, Iron Man. I pretty much had them all like hanging off the roof, hanging off the wall. So I guess really, to be honest, it probably started from there. Just my love for collecting toys and displaying them. And yeah, really, to be honest, I just love setting them up because I think why not? You've got to have a place to show your passion, and I think being able to sort of set it up and have it looking great. So when you come in, you just have positive vibes. It's kind of your happy place.
I definitely agree with you, man, wholeheartedly. Shout out to my wife for allowing me to do it, but nothing compares to having your own room where you can walk
That's
in
it.
and just look at these little miniature pieces. It
That's
brings
right.
so much joy.
Yeah.
Brother, I wanted to ask you in that sense, in that regard, right? You mentioned the fact that there's nothing better than setting them up and things like that.
Yeah.
There's some collectors that believe some pieces should stay in box and then some pieces should definitely come out of the box. I'm a firm believer, man, especially with newer stuff. I collect a lot of McFarlane. I'm unboxing all of that. I'm not
That's
here to keep
correct.
them in the box or anything, but I do know some collectors. Like if I was to grab a what is it, Castle Grayskull from back in the day. Like
Yes.
I would be cool to have the box, but even that I still might take out of box just to set up and display. What's your views, man, just as far as for collectors for unboxing
Yeah.
and having box? What do you think about that?
That's a really great question, and I guess it is a personal choice. To be honest, I think if you the the content or the item that you have is really really rare, and you see the money value in that,
Mhm.
then I think it's probably best to keep it in the box. But as you said, if you are going to be buying it to display, I think why not like take it out of the box? It's got to have air to breathe and display it nicely. You know.
I definitely would agree, man. And taking
Yeah.
it out of the box, here I am, an adult, if you will, both of us, man. And it's like that's kind of our way of getting away with actually getting to play with it to a degree. Whereas
That's
kids,
correct. Yeah.
we'd pum 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 and make
That's
them
right.
fight and things. But for us,
Yeah.
like man, we get to pose it, and
Absolutely.
that's our escape, brother. Um,
Absolutely.
so I'm currently new to collecting, man. So I do have some questions in
Yeah.
regards
Sure.
to that, if you don't mind me asking, brother.
Yeah.
First
Of
things
course.
first, man. For me, as well as new collectors all around the world, what are some things that you're looking for as you're out there on the hunt, if you will? So as far as like, how do you tell if a box is in good condition, or where do you find the history of a certain figure? How do you know if something's the right price or too much, things like that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I would probably start with eBay. So eBay is a really good source for sold items. So you can search for a particular figure that you're looking for, and most of the time you should be able to find, how much it's sort of sold for. In regards to certain list when I'm toy hunting, it kind of just, to be honest, depends on the day, I guess, and it depends on what I'm collecting at that point. But I'm always looking out for the Kenner Real Ghostbusters,
Hmm.
um, obviously Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Toxic Crusaders, and to be honest, there's so many different toy lines that I'm currently collecting. Obviously, you would have seen my one episode on Centurions, so I've just
I
started
did.
to collect that, and that's just got a vast amount of different accessories. So
Hmm.
I think it really is important when you're looking to know exactly what you're looking for, because sometimes a figure might not be uh, 100% complete. So
Right.
it's good to have resources for that. Now, there's obviously a lot of websites out there. Generally, if you just search in the toy line that you're looking for, you can generally find like a really good website with accessories and the figures that go with that. For example, like Figure Realm, websites like that are really great for like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because as you may know, turtle figures generally have 6 to 9 accessories, and
Right.
it can be really hard to find. So I generally, as a collector, I like to try and collect as much as I can for the figure, but I'm not 100% a purist in regards to completing the figure. But if I can find it, then yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Right, right. How many complete pieces? Because I've seen on some of your videos, you do have some things that are actually
Yeah.
complete, which is really incredible. How many complete pieces, or maybe ballpark? How many complete pieces would you say you've been able to pull together?
Yeah, I would say probably around about 78% out of my collection is
That's
is pretty
amazing,
much
man.
complete. As said, like whenever I'm wanting to buy something, for example, there was the uh, turtle Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sub, which came up late last year on a Facebook auction,
Hmm.
and I managed to get that. It was all complete. The guy sort of showed all the stickers and imperfections. So I think like if you know what you're looking for and you know all the parts, then it's a win-win situation.
I feel like that goes into research on the toy
Yep.
or the toy line, if you will. You had mentioned Kenner toys, man.
Yep.
I've got to study just a tiny bit, man. But you wouldn't happen to be willing to kind of just go into maybe the history of Kenner or
Yeah.
possibly your history with Kenner.
Absolutely, that's a really good question, and I was going to bring that up. Kenner, for
Awesome.
me, obviously started with Star Wars. So Star Wars was, from 1979, 77, up to the late 80s for the original
Hmm.
Star Wars figures. But I guess for me, like I had a friend in primary school that had um, all the Kenner toys. So he had the Star Wars, he had Kenner Jurassic Park, and Kenner Real Ghostbusters. So for me, that's kind of where I really started. As a young teenager, I
Hmm.
never had all that, so that's kind of where that nostalgia started, and that collection started. I was like, well, now I'm a lot older. I have the opportunity to be able to get these figures back
Right.
into the collection. So
I completely
um,
get it.
yeah. And then into the 90s, they had the Power of the Force Star Wars. So I started getting into that. And one day I got home from high school and my dad said, oh, here goes the Star Wars Millennium Falcon in the box. And I was like, cool. Okay. That's pretty awesome. So,
That's incredible.
yeah. Um, so I think for me, like a lot of Kenner toys have always been there. Same with Playmates. Like my dad was a big fan of Star Trek Next Generation. So every birthday and that I'd save up and I'd get like, the Starship Enterprise and the tricorder and the figures and stuff like that as well. So yeah,
That's amazing. That's
yeah,
amazing. Let me ask you this.
sure.
At what age or what period in time did you decide, okay, I don't just want these to play with, but like to me, these are like art pieces to a degree. Like I want to
Yeah.
collect these. I want to make sure I have every single one.
Yeah, I would say probably in the last probably 5 to 7 years,
Really?
really started collecting again. Obviously, life kind of gets in the way sometimes. Well, not gets
Hmm.
in the way, but you focus on different things like, getting married and getting a
Bills
house
and
and bills
right.
and all that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. So I think for me, it has been a natural progression in the last 7 years. It really started obviously collecting Ghostbuster stuff off eBay and toy fairs and Doctor Who as well, and then it kind of
Right.
just really snowballed from there.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I wanted to ask you, as far as when you're out hunting and things like that,
yeah,
I'm a big fan of this phrase, and it's something that I truly feel like I've gotten the opportunity to experience, and that's the thrill of the hunt, the knowing of
yep,
something that you're looking for, and just going out store to store or searching deep
absolutely,
online. Would
yep.
you give us the definition to you, and maybe in an experience of the thrill of the hunt for those kids at home that don't know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. So generally in Australia, we have toy fairs, which are generally once every 3 months. I've got a couple of local ones here, and I
Hmm.
recently had went to one in Sydney, which I'm preparing to go to the end of the month, which is going to be awesome. But um, for me, I love getting there early. You may have heard the term early bird tickets or early
Yes.
bird. So if you pay a little bit extra, you can basically get in there nice and early to get the pick of the bunch. So for me, I love getting in there early and trying to find an item that I may not have seen. Um, but yeah, it really is really cool when you can find an item that you haven't seen for a long time and it's just sitting there ready to be picked up. Um, for example, uh, probably late last year, I went to one where yeah, I just found a couple of items. So I found like a turtle figure and another sort of turtle figure, and I was sort of talking to some mates, and I was ready to go, and then every time I was trying to go, I would find something else. So I found like this old Doctor Who cookbook, which I'd had back in the '90s, and I was looking for like 15 years, and
That's
yeah,
amazing.
and I was able to share that story with the sellers, and they were humble to sell it to me. So, little things like that, little stories like that, I think is what makes hunting special, and when you do have that story to it.
Right. I definitely feel like that adds to the value and to the nostalgia of the hunt when it comes to finding your pieces. The toy fairs is something that I have yet to have the opportunity to go to. I know we do have some here in the States. I definitely plan
Yeah,
on checking them out. So you guys have those, you said, once every 3 months in
that's
Australia.
correct. Yeah, that's
That's
correct.
amazing, man. I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you how the toy community was actually out there. I know we have small little communities every now and then of guys that collect and meet up and things. What's it like being a collector in Australia? Not only with the community, but even just going out hunting for toys. Are there places outside of just the toy cons, the toy conventions, if you will?
Yeah, I think the toy community in Australia is great because once you kind of get to know someone like-minded that collects the same thing as you do, then they'll kind of be looking out for something for you, and they most likely might be able to do a toy trade or something like that, and then in turn you can then go to toy fairs with them. So I think to kind of answer your question, unpack it a little more, is when I started my channel 3 years ago, one of my good friends, Matt from Keep On Collecting, reached out to me on YouTube and
Shout
started
out.
spamming me with, yeah, Matt and Andrew
Hmm.
from Keep On Collecting, awesome guys. And then, so I kind of met him about 2 years ago, and then he introduced me to Scott Crusher, who's also an awesome YouTube creator as well. Shout out to Scott Crusher. And
That's
I had the
awesome.
chance to actually meet them last year. They live in Sydney. I live in Perth, so it was about a 3 or 4 hour flight. So was able to spend a weekend with them and get to know them as well as toys, which is you just can't really get that. That's authentic, right?
Right.
Um, so that was an awesome weekend. We checked out some vintage toy shops and then went to a massive toy fair called Collecticon, which is 3 basketball stadiums full of just vintage goodness. So
That's so
yeah,
amazing, man.
and
I could only imagine how
yeah,
great of an experience that would be.
it was really special. Yeah, and that's coming up again at the end of this month, so I get to do it all again.
Sweet.
But I've made like more friends from it, so this time it's like, um, yeah, the toy community is awesome. Not only in Australia, but I've made other friends in England as well, like Slimehouse TV, Theo, Luke from
Yes.
Reynolds Reviews, and then obviously yourself as well. So I think it just really opens up a lot of opportunities. Doesn't matter whereabouts in the world you are, we can just we can just come together and talk about common things.
We all have that one simple thing that
Yeah,
bonds us, and that's the love for
that's it.
plastics, man. And
That's
I
it.
think
That's
that's
it.
so beautiful. Not only in figure collecting, man, but I feel like that's a common thing within nerdom, right? Being a geek, being
Absolutely.
obsessed with these
Yep.
these different fandoms and things like the fact that you may not like what I write like, right? You
Yep.
collect turtles, I collect McFarlane, or am a
Yeah.
huge fan of the turtles. Plan on
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
into it.
That's
But
it.
for example, you collect turtles, I collect McFarlane, but the fact that we both love these things, we get it. It's an unspoken language, man, and I think that that's so beautiful and an incredible blessing. You mentioned
Absolutely.
that you do have other friends out in Australia as well as now the
Yeah.
UK and things like that. I wanted to talk to you a little bit deeper into your web of other collectors, if you will, and how
Yeah. Sure.
beneficial, not only friendships that is, but also as a collector trying to acquire these hard to find pieces, a tool, if you will. It allows you to
Absolutely.
utilize them and be like, hey man, keep your eye out for this and things like that. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and how basically having these people just all around this web of collectors benefits you as a collector and when finding pieces, looking for pieces, or even furthering your toy knowledge?
Yeah, absolutely. I can give you a good example. My good mate Enzo, I sort of got to know him through another friend at a toy fair. So sometimes I do have my own stall. So I sell some toys
Oh
to
wow, that's
obviously
awesome.
invest in, down the travel or buy more toys. So
Hmm.
I met Enzo August last year, and he pretty much bought all the turtle stuff off my table, and then kind of got to know him a bit more from that. And
Hmm.
yeah, we just keep an eye out for each other. So he'll be like, "I'm looking for this item," so I'll share it to him on from eBay, or it might be like local Facebook Marketplace or something like that. And through that, that's how I was able to get my Centurions. So I started
Right.
off with like one figure that I got off eBay, and I found like this bulk lot on eBay, and I said, "Hey man, like I know you like Centurions, like you know, here you go," sort of thing. And he was like, "Yeah, I'll get it." And within that bulk lot, there was all these extras, and he was like, "Hey man, do you want these?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, like I'd love to, you know." So that's just one of the examples of how I collaborate with others, and you get some
Right.
you get some awesome deals, you know.
I think that that's, man, so awesome, brother, so awesome. Since we have arrived here, I was trying to put it off for a little bit, but you brought up the Centurions.
Yeah,
Do you want
yeah,
to kind of talk to us? So, like I said, my first experience with them is literally your video that just dropped
yeah,
the other day.
yeah.
Kids, go check it out. Ryan the Collector Kid on YouTube. Really good
That's it.
video. And I love that you dropped a little piece of history again. Praises your way, man. It's
Yeah.
it's so cool. It's a fan talking to somebody that does something awesome, bro. So shout out to you again. I'm gonna nerd out probably a couple times about your content
That's
during
all
this
good, man.
episode. But man, so did you get into the Centurions because your partner was into it? Is this something you collected as a youngster? Tell us a little bit about your adventure with the Centurions.
Centurions, yeah. I think uh again, like yourself, you're inspired by my content, and
Hmm.
I'm inspired by other uh creators. So for example, my mate Scott Crosser is a big collector of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and WWF wrestling figures and things like that. So before I'd
Nice.
sort of met him, I didn't really have a lot of turtle stuff. And then
Hmm.
I sort of got bitten by the the turtle bug, and before you know it, I've now got half a collection is turtles. So to answer your question in regards to Centurions, a similar thing happened with my mate Luke from Reynolds Reviews in England. He posted a video a couple of months ago on his collection of Centurions, and I knew that I already had one of the Centurion figures, and I thought, oh, I'll just get it, and if I find other figures along the way, then it'll be okay. He actually reached out to me because he was like, oh, I saw that you need a helmet for the figure,
Hmm.
and so he actually posted me one all the way from England. So that's
That's
kind of how
amazing.
it started, and then obviously from there, Enzo managed to acquire quite a large collection, and yeah, as said, like I never really like watched the show growing up, but I definitely have an appreciation for the show and the toy line now. So yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Right. I think, man, I can relate to that in the sense of, obviously, here I am. I'm 28 years old.
Yep,
He-Man was a bit before my time, right?
that's it.
But being a figure collector, I feel like it's safe to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, He-Man is one of the pillars to what it. If you're a figure collector,
Absolutely.
man, you collect Star Wars, He-Man, Turtles.
Yep.
There's these certain toys that it's a must-have as a collector.
There's like a go-to collection. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
If you want to get into toy collecting, like this is the direction you'll send,
that's
somebody. I
it.
feel. But because I've gotten into toy collecting, I've gotten into watching guys like you. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? The guys that have knowledge of these things. It's now inspired me to go and watch TV shows such as the old He-Man, which I also found the new updated version. Shout out to one of the greatest, my favorite directors, Kevin Smith. There's a
Kevin Smith. Yeah, yeah,
it,
yeah,
it, it was I thought it was
yeah,
pretty good. So watching the
yeah.
show and then watching the remade show, I was like, this is decent. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about the holy grails, if you will, of collecting? Are there some holy grails, some well sought out pieces from all collectors, and then maybe what's your personal holy grails? That if you could have this one or two items, like man, that's it. You've done it. You peaked.
That again, that's a really great question, and I think
Thank you.
there's never.
I'm trying my best
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
So.
no, you're doing well. I think there's never like, I mean, I have a couple of holy grails which I was
Mhm.
able to recently acquire, um, like the Doctor Who 25th anniversary TARDIS set, which is really hard to come by in Australia. Never seen it before, and again,
Now, is this
yeah,
the
yeah,
one I got to see in the video? It looks, kids, it looks so beautiful. Not to cut you off, but to add
no,
on,
no, no,
it looks so beautiful with the lights, and you talk all
yeah.
about it, man. Do your thing.
Yeah, that's a different one. But that was I'm happy to good segue to that. That
Yes,
was a
please. Sorry.
playset. No, you're right. That was a playset I used to have. And then
Mm,
obviously I moved it on probably about 10 years ago to kind of again
mhm.
fund something else. And then it popped up on one of my Doctor Who Facebook groups, and yeah, the person selling it wanted $10 for it. So I was like,
Such a deal,
that's
man.
incredible. It's incredible. So I
Right.
worked with one of my mates who lived in Sydney, and he was able to. He said, "You look, it's just down the road from where I live. I need to take my daughter on a driving test." And so they went and picked it up for me, and I got it posted. So yeah, that's an incredible play set. Um, full lights, full sound,
It's
massive
gorgeous. When did
massive.
that come out, if you don't mind me
That would
asking?
have been around 2005, 2006.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool that everything still worked on that piece that you had. Like I didn't expect that, and then it lights up. There's the sounds on it, man. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
It's incredible. It's got about 8 different sounds. And each thing does something slightly different. So
Mm.
you get a unique play experience with it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think it's a hard question to answer. There are lots of
I understand.
holy grails out there. I think it depends on what sort of toy line you like to collect. For example, I'm not a big GI Joe collector, but my friend
Mhm.
Andrew from Keep On Collecting is, and he recently acquired the White Flag. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
I'm probably gonna
The
look like
flag.
a dork right now. Now, is the white flag, like I said, I may be incorrect, but I know
Yeah.
one of the big GI Joe pieces a lot of people like to collect is the giant ship. That's not the white flag, is it?
So the flag, it's the flag. So the flag is a giant boat. So it's like a
Sweet,
navy
awesome.
hangar. Yeah,
Hmm.
it is
Just
probably the biggest.
massive, right?
Is massive. Yeah, there's like a meme. I'll send it to you. There's a photo of a guy with
Please
about
do.
6 of them out the backyard, and they're like, yeah, they're huge.
That's insane.
Yeah. So he was very lucky enough to acquire one locally the last month or so. So I'm looking forward to seeing that when I head over to Sydney. But yeah, to get one of those, you're probably looking at, I don't know, $4,000 to $5,000. Like they're just
Right,
not they're not very common and not very cheap.
right.
um, but if I may, I did recently acquire a
Yes,
Holy Grail turtle vehicle, so I'll get that for you.
please do. Please do. Take your time.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
So
I
this,
think
so
I've
go.
watched the video on this. So go ahead. Do your thing. Do your
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so this is the Channel 6 news van.
Mhm.
This is April's news van vehicle. I don't know, these are kind of more common in America. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know if you've seen one in a comic book shop or.
So I
Okay.
haven't had the privilege yet to see one, but
Right.
I
Okay.
do remember you mentioning it being common on your video. So
Yeah,
that's
that's it. So not very common in Australia, but I was able to acquire this again through my friend Enzo, um, who has one in the box. So um, yeah, this one you're probably again looking at sort of around $1,000 to $1,700, depending
that's
on
so
how
crazy. It's
much is.
awesome.
Yeah. I think it's just missing one little piece, which is like a little go-kart that comes out the side of the door here. Um,
Hmm.
but and then if you wanting to get one in the box, you're probably looking at again $3,000 to $4,000, which is probably equivalent to, I don't know, 1,800 to 2,500 US. Yeah.
Now let me ask you this: when you acquired this piece, like I said, I think I watched the video on this.
Yep.
Um, it came in a box. Was that the box for this, or was it just the delivery box?
Yeah, so this is a different one. So
Okay, I'm
my
thinking about the
y-
one where you got to put the stickers on, and
that's
which was
correct. Yeah,
an
yeah.
amazing process. Okay, two
That's
different
correct.
vehicles.
Two different versions, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's same vehicle, but yeah, I rocked it to my mate's place, and he was like, "Oh, we've got something that you might want to film for your channel," and I had no idea
Mm-hmm.
what they were talking about, and then my mate Dave came up with the boxed one of these, and
Wow.
they said, we'd like you to open it." I'm like, "Are you sure?"
God, what a
Because
privilege.
yeah, I know how much these are worth, and they're like, "Yeah, go for it." So it was a absolute honor and privilege to open it up, and still brand new, like the day it was packed 30 or 35
Isn't
years
that
ago.
so fascinating that there's pieces like that that still exist?
Yep.
As you said, like in that one, guys, you got to watch the video. Man, he got to lay out the stickers on the
Yep.
vehicle and everything. That doesn't happen, man. Like,
That's
what
right.
a rare, once in a lifetime chance, and you got to do that over at your fellow collectors, fellow buddies'
Yeah.
house, man. Like, that's
Absolutely. Yeah.
absolutely incredible, man. I'm really happy that you got friends cool enough. My friends would never let me do that, so that's awesome. You got to do that, man.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
really special because, yeah, as you know, obviously, uh, kids would obviously play with it, and the stickers would be missing or
Hmm.
upside down. So to be able to kind of set that up for my mate was yeah, again, a privilege. So
That's such an incredible experience. I could probably tear up potentially
yeah.
listening to that. That's amazing, man. I think it's
Yeah.
awesome. So this is the same vehicle, just a different one.
It's a
He
different
owns
one.
one,
Yeah. Yeah.
you own one. That's
Yeah.
that's really awesome, man. Is there a little bit of history you can share with us on this piece?
Yeah, so again, this is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles vehicle. It would be by Playmates, and I'm just
Hmm.
trying to find a date on here. I would probably say it's around 92, 90, 94. So again, um, I don't know sort of too much on it, but I know that it's not as common.
Hmm.
I would say um, maybe during COVID and that, the prices kind of pushed up um,
Really?
the cost of vintage toys. I would say, um, yeah, that's probably another good segue into into how toys have gone up in price as well.
So COVID, how has that
Yeah,
affected the collector's market?
yeah, I think items that you could generally pick up for like $10 or $20, probably 7 years ago, have now skyrocketed 100%. So
Really?
you're probably now looking between, a figure that was $10 or $20 is now maybe $80 to $100. Um, but then you also have people kind of going, "Oh, this is an awesome figure," and then other
Mm,
people want it, and that kind of pushes the price up um, on not as common figures too. Um,
right.
yeah.
Um,
So
I I wanted to ask you, just as far as figure collecting goes, you just mentioned that sometimes somebody will want something and that'll make the value go up. Other collectors
Yep.
will see like, oh, this guy thinks this is cool, so now let's raise the
Yep.
price, or we want this as well, so whoever's selling it can raise the price. Does that happen often? Somebody having the influence of a toy, like, oh, this is incredible, and then other guys kind of jump on board with it, and they're like, oh, this is
Yeah.
cool too. Is
Yeah.
that a big thing?
Yeah. I think I know my good friend Theo from Slimehouse TV. He kind of brought it up on one of his episodes
Hmm.
on how it kind of gripe is a bit of a gripe for him because um, you have your favorite toy lines, and then sometimes it gets a bit tarnished because you've got people sort of getting on the bandwagon or sort of going, "Oh,
Right.
this figure's cool," and that kind of hacks up the price a bit. But yeah, I sort of lost my thought where I'm going there. But
No worries at
yeah,
all.
it's yeah, I think again, it's just with COVID and that people not being able to travel um, and sort of stuck at home, and they've got all this money, so they kind of
Hmm.
just go, well, yeah, I can buy it now, and then I guess people selling it kind of go, well, I can make a bit of money out of this. So um, I think in a way, like for me, I find collecting, if you wait long enough, sometimes you can find the right piece that you're looking for at a good price,
Right.
as opposed to having to pay astronomical amounts. And I think something that my mate Theo always says is um, an item's worth as much as you think it's worth
Hmm.
to you. And so if you're prepared to pay a certain amount for that item, if you're emotionally invested, or if it's something nostalgic, then I think you'll sort of go for it.
I think that's beautiful, man, and I definitely agree. I
Mm.
wanted to ask you, as a collector, when you're out there hunting, is there ever a sense of urgency when it comes to, oh, I should probably grab this piece because if I don't, another collector will, or if I don't, the price may go up. But and then on the flip side, you just mentioned that sometimes when you do wait, that the price may go down, the value for that, the urge for other
Yeah.
collectors that want to. But do you want to talk to us a little bit about that situation?
Yeah. So, for example, when I went to the collector con toy fair last year in Sydney
Hmm.
with my mates, as I mentioned, we got there early, and my mate collects turtles as well, so we were kind of going there. But I think like you always look out for your mates, and you sort of ask first, "Oh, do you want this figure?" or can I
Right.
buy it? So I think there's a bit of like mutual respect there as well. But then they might say, "Hey, I found this. Do you want this figure?" But for example, when you sort of see something that you know you've been looking for a while, and yeah, this is a good deal. That's always a good feeling. So, for example, another Kenner toy line called Mask is a cartoon from the
I've heard
80s. I
of
don't know if
Mask.
you've, yeah, yeah, yeah. It was kind of cross between like Transformers and G.I. Joe. So there was like, you had the good team called Mask, and then you had the bad guys called Venom, and they had
Hmm.
vehicles that would sort of transform into like fighting machines, and they had different masks
It's
that
awesome.
they would wear, which would give them like different abilities and that like levitation and stuff like
Right.
that. Anyway, so I went into like the second hall, and there was a couple selling a bulk lot of these mask figures. So as soon as I saw it, I knew exactly what they were, and I was able to sort of get it at a good price. So I think yeah, you just again, it's about being in the right place, the right time, And I knew that if I didn't act on it, someone else probably would have got them pretty quick. So yeah,
I think that's
that's just a
awesome,
good
man.
example.
I definitely agree. I think that that's
Yeah.
so awesome, brother. Uh, I wanted to ask you, man, as we're moving forward, we're getting through the episode and things. I want to
Yeah, man.
kind of just guide us in the right directions, brother. You talked to
Absolutely.
me a little bit about Kenner and Kenner's history, your history with that. Would you say that that is your favorite toy line of all time? Is stuff that Kenner puts out or has
Yeah,
put out?
I would say, yeah, Kenner toys from the late '80s into the early '90s are
Nice.
probably one of the best sculpts. As said, like I mainly collect real Ghostbusters from Kenner. But then there's other sub genres like Police Academy. I've got Beetlejuice as well, so they did Beetlejuice figures.
You said
Yeah,
Police
there's this.
Academy, like the
Yeah,
movies? Police
yeah,
Academy. They
yes,
did
yeah.
a
So
line of figs on those? I didn't
they
even know that.
did,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So back in the '90s, there was obviously what they would do is from a movie they would try and make like a cartoon version
Hmm.
to be able to market the toys to the kids.
Right.
That's where you kind of got like Terminator 2 and Aliens and Predator. Obviously they're R-rated films, but they were able to kind of create a comic book or create a cartoon to go with that series, and that's how you got got Terminator 2 and you got your Predator and your Aliens and RoboCop and the Ultra
Hmm.
Police. That's another cartoons that you could check out. They also did a Kenner toy line on that as well. That's getting a lot of those figures are getting hard to find, but I believe that I will hopefully find a bulk lot one day. You never know.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah,
Kenner also did, and tell me if I'm wrong. The first run on Batman outside of like Migos, I think, but like they did the
yep.
1989 Batman figures as well, right?
Yes,
Am I?
yeah, yeah, yeah. They did the Batman movie
Mm-hmm. Michael
figures. They
Keaton.
did Michael Keaton, yeah, classic.
Mm-hmm. It
They
is
did the Batman Returns, another great film. So they did a toy line
true indeed.
related to that, and then Batman Forever and etc. But yeah. So as I said, there's so many different subgenres of toy lines out there for Kenner, and I think they did really well. Have you seen a show called The Toys That Made Us? It's on Netflix.
Yes, phenomenal
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Phenomenal show. I
So
have.
that's a good history lesson if you really want to stick your teeth into that as well. It's a good way to learn about toy lines too.
I found myself watching it on like kind of repeat. I've seen it before. Every month, every couple months or so, I'll go back watch it again. The same episodes. I think
Absolutely,
they did it really well. They put that documentary, if you will. I mean, I know it's a TV show, but it's a documentary as well.
it is.
And
Yeah,
they
yeah.
put it together. Let me ask you this, inspired by what you just said. Who are some guys you go and kind of listen to or watch? Just to gain more knowledge about toys? Who are some guys you study in the collecting
Yeah.
industry?
Um, yeah, I'll see some pretty high hitters or some really great channels. If no one knows, you got Pixel Dan. He does really
Okay.
awesome episodes on Turtles, Toxic Crusaders. He'll do some really great toy hunting videos as well.
Hmm.
Then you've got Toy Galaxy. They're pretty good as well. They do full history on particular toy lines,
Hmm.
what went wrong, kind of thing, or what made them
I was
great.
just watching
Yeah.
their I think it was muscles
Yep.
video. They have a video about the little muscle guys, really
That's
good.
correct. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then obviously my good mates keep on collecting and Scott Crusher always check out their content, and then obviously Theo from Slimehouse, because I like watching different channels from different areas or different countries, because you get a bit of variety
Right.
of what their toys are like over there, and also what their toy fairs are like. And then obviously big shout out to Ed's Retro Geek Out. His channel is awesome. He's
Hmm.
based in Belgium. He's a regular. He creates regular content. We
I've been
managed to have a
checking
chat.
him out quite a bit
Yeah,
recently.
yeah, we had a chat to him couple of months ago on our live stream,
Really.
and he's such a humble guy. And you would think that's kind of what he does all the time, but he's just like me. He works full time, 5 days a week. Has family as well, so
Right.
to be able to kind of like fit that time in to create that content, it's just incredible. Yeah,
I think that that's beautiful, man. And the fact, I mean, again, just shout out to you, and then in your situation, shout out to him for being willing to talk, man. I just think
yeah,
it's so
yeah.
cool. Again, to reference that love for plastics. I mean, that's the whole reason we're here. Like, it's
Absolutely.
just such a beautiful thing. So I know that you, really quick, I wanted to say actually before I get to that, we're almost there.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're good.
Slime House. you mentioned,
Slimehouse
right?
TV. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think I peeped one of his videos. Again, unimportant. This was just a
No,
side piece.
you're
I
good.
think I just
Yeah.
watched him do a while back. He had did something on the Resident Evil figures.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I was
Okay,
gonna bring
so
that
we're
up. Yeah.
talking about the same. Big fan of those. I definitely want to
Yeah.
collect those, man. Shout out to him. So I do know who you're talking about. All right, man. So rumor has it, my brother, that you brought something that you want to kind of take a look at here on the
Yeah.
show, man. We're nearing the end. I feel like it's the right time, the appropriate time. I'll let you take over. You do your thing. You do what you do
So,
best, man.
too easy, man. So yeah, obviously I mentioned that I had a box that I'd like to kind of open as a bit of a live unboxing on your channel, on your episode. So
Again,
it's
thank you
just
so
a
much for
small,
this.
no worries. It's just a small box, but I think you're gonna like it. So let's crack it open.
I'm really excited to see what it is. And I do just as a fan, I think it's so cool
Yeah,
that
man.
I've got you unboxing on our channel. Like it's a huge
Well,
blessing, man. So shout out
I
to
just
you.
thanks, man. It's just something I like to do on the channel, um, and when I'm doing live streams, so it's kind of just grown
Hmm.
from there. But no, anytime, man. Okay.
While you're unboxing that, I do
Yeah,
want
man.
to ask you about. I learned about another guy from you. I think he's out in Japan.
Yeah.
Treasures.
Treasures to Trigger. Yeah, yeah. He's
Yeah,
Phil. Yeah, yeah.
pretty cool guy. I got to
He's
watch one
cool.
of his live streams the other day. Really cool. I'm learning about all kinds of guys from just watching you, man.
Yeah,
Observing your chat,
absolutely.
which you have an excellent. Shout out to everybody in your community. I've recently been able to experience with your video drops, man. Just your chat and how they operate. Everybody in there is just so friendly, man. And I think
Thanks, man.
you're building a beautiful community over there on your YouTube channel, man.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I try and drop them pretty regularly so that I can, create that community of live chat. And I think it's, it's just like you're hanging out at a pub or hanging out
Right.
in a common place, just chilling, watching some cool stuff.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so this is from a good mate of mine. He's called Greenie's Toys. So shout out to Greenie's Toys.
Shout
Um,
out.
yeah, he does a lot of uh, Facebook auctions, and I actually won these as part of a competition at the start. So he'll often grab a number and then put your name to that, and then he actually uses an original Orko figure from Masters of the Universe, the one
That's
with the
awesome.
ripcord, and he'll pull the ripcord, and then basically Orko will then select a lucky winner. So I think there was like five competitions, five prizes up for grabs. All right, so here we go. Hold on.
The ASMR is amazing.
So, which is cool because I don't often win a lot of stuff, but when you do, it's kind of like it's pretty special,
Great feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
So I have two original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle wax packs. So these are wax
Wow.
card packs, still 100% sealed. Um,
That's
yeah,
incredible.
these are like super minty. Look at that. That's like
Yeah, it looks beautiful, man.
brand new. Yeah. So I actually have a
Those are
friend
amazing.
at work who collects cards. So he collects like Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, and I was kind of
Hmm.
telling him about them, and he's like, "Oh, you should get them graded." But I don't know, man. I might give them away as a like little memento or something like that. But
They
share the
look
love.
absolutely gorgeous, man. What is it? So they have 11 cards in them, it says, right?
Yeah, it's got 11 cards and one sticker. Yeah,
Wow. Do
yeah.
you know when those are from, or does it say?
Yeah, these are from 1989. My goodness,
That's
these are like
incredible. And look how mint they look, man. That's
they're like
insane.
super mint. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
they
brand
look
new. It's
absolutely
literally like
gorgeous.
you're just going to the milk bar or the tuck shop and
Mhm. Just picking them up
pick them up.
fresh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, those
incredible.
are incredible, bro. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for opening those on the channel. That's
anytime, man.
super awesome. Shout out to what'd you call it? Green.
Greenie's Toys. Yeah.
Oh, Greener's Toys, man. Big love to you
Greenie's Toys.
guys,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I did see another auction as well, man. In Australia, I don't know what they're called, but I ended up seeing you actually in one of their chats,
Oh yeah.
on
Yep.
Facebook a while back. I don't remember what it was. I'm trying to remember the name. I can't remember the name, but I saw you in another one of the auctions, man, which is
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to those guys. Brother, we're nearing the end of the episode, man.
Thanks, man. That
You
goes so quick.
hit your it did, man. It was a pleasure rocking with you. Again, you've hit your 3 years doing YouTube, correct? Or you're going to hit your three? I think you just hit your three.
Yeah, I hit my 3 last Thursday on May the 4th.
Awesome.
So it's
Great
pretty
date
cool.
to do it as
Pretty
well.
good
That's
date. Yeah.
amazing. hmm Um,
Yep.
what do we got coming for your channel? What can viewers be looking for? Just as far as not no spoilers, but what I guess what I'm saying is your direction with your
Direction.
channel.
Yeah.
Where do you plan on heading, man?
Yeah. So I really want to sort of capture some more toy fairs coming up. So I'll
Mm,
be doing a lot of sort of capturing, documenting, doing some vlogging coming up at the end of the month on that. And then I want to sort of start to get to some other friends' collection rooms, sort of start to see what they've got and document that as well. So, um, excuse me. So you're going to be probably experiencing, yeah, more sort of toy fairs coming up in the year, and then more sort of collection room tours. So I'm looking forward
I
to
love that.
showcasing that.
As a fan, I'm super excited for that, brother. That's going to be incredible. Well, yeah, definitely looking forward to that, man. Congrats on your
Thanks, man.
3 years.
Cheers,
Again,
man.
thank you so much for rocking with us here. Brother, do you have anything else that you want to plug up, including social medias or anything like that, man? Feel
Yeah,
free. This is your moment.
yeah. I guess if you haven't checked out my channel, Ryan the Collector Kid on YouTube, hit a like and subscribe if you like my content.
Mhm.
And I'm also on Instagram at Ryan the Collector Kid as well. So hit me up there, send a message if you like, or a comment. Yeah, be much appreciated.
Most def. You guys go check out my man Ryan the Collector Kid. Again, brother, thank you so much for rocking. It was a blast hanging with you, getting to just
Oh,
pick your
thanks, man.
brain and meet you in person. Oh, I had one last question and then you're done. I know you
Yeah.
got to get out of here. You said you
No,
had an
you're
hour.
good. Yeah,
You
yeah.
got to tell us the story, man. Viewers around the world are asking about this one particular thing. They're not. This is an inside piece of information you gave me, brother. Tell me the
Yeah.
story and tell the viewers the story of these the flame boots, if you will. Definitely got to hear about that.
Yeah, so this is it's probably when I was in high school, was going through your kind of your grunge goth metal sort of stage.
Nice.
And I saw these boots are called New Rock boots, made from, I think that they're Spanish or Italian.
hmm
And yeah, I just obviously was into like a lot of like death metal bands and stuff at the time, and they were kind of rocking it. And so yeah, I wanted to kind of own these shoes. So um, yeah, my dad was going to England at the time, sort of in 2000,
hmm
and I said, "Oh look, I want these boots. I don't care, like birthday, Christmas, just just get me these boots." So he actually got me a pair of these New Rock boots from England, and he got them at a really good price. And the shoe shop that he got it from, the guy said, "Look, don't tell anyone else that you got them at this price, because I'll get in trouble." So of course, my dad, being dad,
That's
he
cool.
went to the next the next shoe shop with these big bag of shoes. And the guy
hmm
was like, "Oh, what do you got there?" He's like, "Oh, I got, got these for my son." He's like, "Oh, how much you get them for?" And he's like, "Oh, this amount." And then he's like, "Whoops!" And so he got head tailed out quickly, and he saw the guy running to the other guy's shop. So who knows what happened there? But yeah,
Right.
man, they lasted me for about 10 years, and I got nicknamed Flame Boy. Because I would wear these boots all the time, and yeah, this became yeah, part of me.
I think that that's really awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to. For those of you guys watching at home, man, we had a little back and forth about. I
Yep.
think my name, and then he was like, "Bro, I used to wear these boots." Sent me a cool picture. I had to bring it
that
up in the chat
that's where
or during
Flamboy
the show.
came from. Yeah. Yep.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, shout out to the boots, man. Again,
Thanks,
thank you, thank you, thank you. It was a blast. Hopefully we get to do this another time, man, and sit down. Maybe we can bring in some other collectors and just all talk toys, brother. But thank you so
Absolutely.
much, man. It was a pleasure rocking with you. Kids watching at home, go check us out. Check out my man Ryan the Collector Kid on YouTube, Instagram, and all that great stuff. Be sure to subscribe, like, as well, kids. You guys can check us out. As you know, you hopefully find this on YouTube or Spotify. Comic Cons podcast. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and now Twitter. Kids made a Twitter. I don't know why, but that exists at Comic Cons podcast. I think Twitter's Comic Cons pod. That's KHANS, kids. That means King. Check us out, fellow cons. Again, thank you all for viewing this episode. Shout out to everybody. Ryan, thank you so much. Keep collecting, fellow cons, and have a wonderful day. We're out. Boop.